Good afternoon. Today is September 4th, 2024. Welcome to Belloheart. How I hope everybody had a great Labor Day. Hope everybody spent some time with their families as we buckle down for this election season. So, one of the reasons why I started Belloheart was to try to wake people up to the truth, right? So, for me, it was a spiritual awakening combined with not the same. First, I woke up to the government, but then the media, then the Trump thing, and then spiritually. So, my goal here on this channel is to try to help people wake up. I report the news. Of course, there's so much crap happening every day. Both sides polarize it. The right, even Fox News is polarizing. It's always trying to pick, make MAGA people get angry or at least upset about stuff. And I think Fox is just there as a way to control MAGA as well, or the Trump people, right? Because and the other side, CNN, ABC, CBS, all the other is psychotic people. The liberals are just a complete disaster, and they just, shove whatever they're told to down our throats. So anyway, I wrote an essay about, and thing, because one thing that's for me is it's about that I find so fascinating is the psychology of America, the emotional division. Why are we so divided, right? How did we become this way, right? Why did America is really not as divided as they say, as I believe. Because when you start to talk to people on the street, really everybody gets along. It might be a couple of crazy people here and there. The most crazy people are the ones who have severe Trump derangement syndrome, right? So I'm going to read an essay that I wrote about the American people, good intentions of the American of to all American people, good intentions of American values taken advantage of. Right? So, how did America become such a polarizing place? First question you should be asking is, are we as polarized as social media lets us believe we are? I don't think so. I'm not sure what everybody else believes. I was watching Gutfeld the other day, and he brought up a good point. He said that if you remove the most radical left policies, open border, late-term abortion, childhood transitions, I think we are pretty much agree on almost everything. Good economy, affordable prices, safety for Americans, right? So the question becomes, then how do we become so divided at this point in time, right? So, well, the first and most obvious reason is the media has become so divided only reports one side's best interest. When did this start? Well, we can easily point to 2015 with Trump and Hillary were running against each other, and the fake news media appeared to take sides. However, it's now known that the CIA has had agents inside all major news outlets since the 1950s. They used to be just newspapers and radio, but then quickly became TV, Hollywood, Google, Facebook, and now it's the internet. Now Amazon, we saw today or the other day with the Amazon Alexa thing. If you're not paying attention, you should be. And everyone remembers Watergate, right? So Watergate, known as the scandal that removed Nixon, one of the most populist presidents in history. Obviously, anyone Gen X and younger would not remember the public perception of back then, right? All we can rely on is what they told us, which we now know is BS. Everything that they told us is BS. If I have learned anything, the reason they force a certain narrative on us is to hide the truth and push public perception to support secret agendas. CIA has been doing it since its inception. Every major event in U.S. history has had an ulterior motive. Fact: Vietnam was started by a false flag event. Why? Well, the CIA wanted to take over the opium fields from the French so they could push heroin on the poorest communities in America to finance their secret operations. You know where else had major opium fields? Afghanistan. JFK assassination was a CIA conspiracy involving the mob and blamed on a patsy. Dead men tell no tales. Sounds familiar, huh? Why are those files still classified? Is the strategy still in use today? The Trump assassination plot will eventually be known as a deep state op, obviously. Dead men tell no tales, Mr. Crooks. 9/11, at the very least, was allowed to, and this is close to my heart. This happened. I live in New Jersey, and it's, I know a lot of people that were impacted, involved, hurt by 9/11, and at the very least was allowed to happen by our government. But the reality is Alex Jones predicted it in May of 2001. If you don't know about that, watch the Alex Jones clip of him predicting 9/11 happening by a man called Osama bin Laden. We funded the Afghanistan rebels during the Russia, which led to Al Qaeda, All right, so I did a ChatGPT search for the Afghan-Soviet War from 1979 to 1989. So this is what ChatGPT said. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979 prompted a widespread resistance movement with fighters known as the Mujahideen, receiving support from various international actors, including the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. We created Osama bin Laden. During this period, Osama bin Laden, a wealthy Saudi national, joined the jihad against the Soviets and began financing and organizing Arab volunteers to support the Afghan Mujahideen. And then he became an enemy of us. And then eventually, either he orchestrated or they blamed the Twin Towers on him. Who knows? So if 9/11 is an inside job, that means that the invasion of Iraq was based off of nothing, right? We know now we had to take out Saddam because he was going to sell his oil in euros. And the petrodollar was based, the value of the dollar is based off the fact that all oil in the world is sold in dollars. Well, guess what? That's at jeopardy now, as anybody should know. With BRICS and the petrodollar, which means the value of the dollar is going to collapse if they let it. Everything is controlled by the people. So, to continue, every single major political event in the world was pushed on some side by our CIA for the last 70 years. They have participated in coups, assassination, propaganda campaigns, political manipulation, or hot wars to push their agenda. America became corrupt in 1913 after the Federal Reserve Bank was established. This was when we allowed the elite money families to take control of America using the 1907 stock market crash. Excuse. You think that wasn't planned? Come on. Since then, we have entered wars continuously since World War I, eventually becoming the major pawn in all international affairs. And the only president who hasn't started a new war? DJT, Mr. Donald Trump. Just saying. Between 1913 and the creation of the CIA, we were infiltrated and eventually controlled by the deep state, which is nothing more than the same powerful families who have been running the money supply for the entire world generations later. The puppet masters. They use the guise of secrecy and national security due to international enemies that they gaslight using the media, right? If we have no enemies, then we have no need for war. Since sure, China, Russia suck. But who cares? Let them suck. We don't have no. Why do we care? The only people that care are the people that are going to make money off of the international trade stuff, which I'm not making money off of shit. So I don't know about everybody else. But anyway, so they created this BS quest for democracy overseas, acting like the U.S. had to push their way. Was the only way. We used the idea of spreading democracy as the excuse to get involved in every country that we needed resources or threaten the dollar dominance around the globe. Elite groups like the Bilderberg Group and the Committee of 300 are the mega rich influencers over the whole world. For years, if you don't know who they are, look them up. You can look them up. They're online, very easy to find. The Bilderberg Group and the Committee of 300. We have been given the illusion of choice. For years, we have been given the illusion of choice through this dual-party political system, until Trump was controlled by the elite. This dual-party political system, until Trump was controlled by the elite. They decided the winner for every election since after JFK, and controlled every major decision since. They killed JFK. The only thing the elites fear is the people coming together. All of us. There are a lot more of us than them. They need to keep us afraid and divided, distracted to keep up their control systems. They peddle their plans through a media that they control. So how did America get so divided? It's all in the plan. They planned it. They planned us to fight. They want us to divide. They create all these social nonsense. Anyway, to use the U.S. citizens to make the elite richer until they can't control us anymore. So the question we should all be asking now is, now that we know they exist and they are manipulating us, most of us know that, is how long before they decide we know too much and they have to move to the next phase of their plan, which is already in motion. They want to control the last few free speech platforms like X and Rumble. They're already coming for X in Brazil. That's step one. Kamala already announced she wants to take X away. You know why? Because they can't control it. They are reducing. Why should they be afraid? If they don't care about, if they're honest people that care about the truth, why would they care what people say, right? Always ask yourself that question. They are reducing the world population by increasingly minimizing the need for the nuclear family, mother, father, children. They have done this long term by using Hollywood, pornography, drugs, and social population control policies like welfare to glorify and incentivize the family separation. Short term, they have used social media to push fringe group agendas that Americans have always felt bad for and will support, of course, and then eventually gets exposed because they make fake charities, they make you pledge your allegiance, and then And then they create some sort of division publicly, and then it makes us all fight. Like we're all fighting over racism, sexism, genderism, feminism, all the other isms, right? It's ridiculous. Stop fighting. In closing, stop being so mean to each other, as we have all been manipulated and lied to about everything. You need to find your own values and love your family to get through what comes next. Not that I want anything bad to come next, but I don't think we have a choice. Embrace the other side, because we need to unite to fight the true enemy of the people, the enemy of the people, not each other. The deep state is starting to panic and showing so by all the hypocrisy in the media. They have gone into full press mode to convince America that Kamala Harris is the qualified candidate, which she's not. She's useless. People should be asking themselves, if she's so wonderful and Joe decided not to run like he says, why didn't they drop out before the primary? Why didn't Joe drop out before the primary and allow Kamala to be selected? Like, if she's so wonderful and everything she does is amazing, she should have been hands down the favorite to win, right? Of course. Yeah, right. Or they, at the very least, could have picked the candidate of their choice, the Democrats. Manipulation, boys and girls, at the highest levels. Right? Oops, they can't have the people choose their candidate. They know better, right? Because guess what? Right now, they would have control over one candidate, and that is Kamala Harris. We need to show them that we know their plans and vote in Donald J. Trump. He's the only way. Stop hating on him. You have TDS if you have no reason to hate. If you're only voting for Kamala because you hate Donald Trump, then that's not a good reason, and that's not going to save America. Negativity will never save us. Stop it. Vote for Donald Trump. He's the only way to take down these elite puppet masters, and they're going to go after him again. So I hope he makes it the election. You know, not that I'm just got to say a prayer for my man. All right. Anyway, let's have a great day, and thanks for listening. If you listened all the way through, like, subscribe, and I'll give you some more news tomorrow. Bye.